Well, welcome to the Marshall County Hangman Channel. My name's Dave Gray, and today we have a special guest, and his name is Tayler, and he's going to share his music with us today. But before we get too far into this, let's like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can bring more writers to you, and who knows, maybe you'll be next. So when you first started doing this, I know there was something that drove you to become a musician. What was that?
The new metal scene is what they called it, with Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Korn, Slipknot. Seeing all those bands kind of come out and connect with me the way music's supposed to. The dark sound, the double bass, like that is what I want. And that's what I went for. Like that's what grabbed me and it's like, hey, you're a part of this scene, Tayler. Whether you like it or not, your brain loves this and you're a part of it. And I was just drawn to it. Took me right in. So, that, and then, I had older sisters that had music interests. They had CDs I'd steal from them. Their boyfriends would come over and they would lend me their CDs. And that was just, that really, really iced it for me and said, this is it. Like, sure. You like music, and my blood just was programmed that way, and I just went with it, and I couldn't stop it.
That's great. That's great. So, what comes easiest for you, the music or the words?
Music, hands down. Always music first. I've always been a writer for music first. I focus on the way the music's going to feel for me. How is it going to resonate with others? Isn't really something I consider usually. I mean, I don't do it, I don't say that as I'm going to be shocking and be a jerk, but I say it as I'm very selfish with music, and I feel like self-care is a very important thing, and that kind of rolls with the whole being selfish with music is to write what you would like to hear, and if you enjoy it, then, that's what matters. You write for yourself, and you can write for others as well, but initially that art is yours.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely music first. Lyrics will come afterward. We all have poems. You can't take a poem and expect to make those into lyrics every time. It won't be timed right. Your words are just too much words sometimes. So I always focus on those melodies of the music, and then sometimes songs don't even need words. You can let the tones and the chords be the words to it. You can have it be so, there are some instrumental songs that are just so, they impact you so much with the music, and just, you can feel the sadness in those songs sometimes, or you can feel the happiness in them. And they don't have to tell you anything. So I feel like, music is definitely, for me, the first thing. And that's, that's me.
I'm right there with you. I find it difficult. Music has never been my thing. I've never been able to really figure it out. Somebody such as yourself that can play how many instruments now?
Like 6 or so.
Well,
some 8, 9, 12. Whatever, I'll learn.
Not that we're counting or
I'll
anything.
figure it out if I need to.
But for me, I struggled with music, and I knew there was something in there. I just couldn't figure out how to get it out of there. And then I started hanging out with other musicians, and all of a sudden it just started happening for me. Instrument of choice?
My green Ibanez acoustic. Love it. We got it for a gift from my daughters and my wife. And it's, if you're telling me if I have to grab an instrument to go, and I'm going to be going somewhere, I'm grabbing that guitar. It's going to be played, and it's, I love my drums. My drums is my baby. I have my drumsticks tattooed on me somewhere here, and I just love drums. But in a situation like a question like yours of choice, I'm grabbing the guitar. I love it. I do love the tones and the melodies. There are infinite possibilities on a guitar, and drums as well.
Right.
But Yeah, that's where I'm leaning.
Guitars are a little easier to pick up and go.
Yeah, it's hard to fold up a drum set.
Yeah, I've had the experience with helping carrying drum equipment, and I can understand completely why people.
I downsized.
Yeah.
When I started touring, I downsized my drum set from a 5-piece to almost a 3-piece. Snare, bass, floor tom, 1 rack mount. I got rid of 2 cymbals. I just minimal stuff because
Sure.
I just wanted to bring it in and be done. I didn't want to put 5 or 6 trips in my drum set. I didn't have a drum tech. I was my drum tech. So yeah, I'm grabbing the guitar.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Where do you see yourself in about 5 years? I mean, musically, where do you see yourself?
Writing, performing, helping, producing would be fun. I'd like to learn how to produce more other artists. I think that'd be a lot of fun to just learn from other people. There's so many great musicians out here just in Iowa alone. Growing is my big part. I'm never gonna stop. Maybe do a jazz record. Mm-hmm. Probably won't do a country record, but who knows?
It could happen.
I don't look at it as I have to write a metal, I have to write a rock and a jazz. It's I want to write a record, I want to write another record, I want to do another record, and it's just going to be foundation blocks to whoever I am. And in this day and age, we have the digital age. We have Spotify and Apple, and someday I'm not going to be here, and not everybody's going to buy my records, but I'll be out there in the airwaves. So if, maybe someday the song will pop up and it'll help somebody out, or they'll just enjoy it.
Yeah.
In 50 years, 100 years down the road, because those streaming services ain't going anywhere.
That's right. That's right. So I got a question about this book. This book you showed me earlier. Tell us a little bit about what you're working on.
Well, every time I would stop in a town, whether it's on vacation with the family, it started off with touring, especially because you would stop at random places in the middle of nowhere and find a place to eat, and you find some really good restaurants. And how do you tell people? You can update your Facebook all day, but how can I tell total strangers who have no idea who I am that there's a great place to eat at over there in the middle of Illinois, or some mountain town in Colorado? How do you tell people that stuff? Or the coffee shops that are just absolutely amazing. So I just decided, I got this book a long time ago, probably 10 years ago I got that book, and I just started filling it out and working with it, and I was like, you know what? I should make this into a helpful guide. How can I make this for everybody? And
so how many spots you got left before we're going to see a book?
20 to 30, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, because every page there's 2 sides to each page. So, you don't have much wasted space. You can kind of give a brief synopsis of how was the food, were the bathrooms clean?
Boy, this one was...
how was the last one? What'd you find there?
This was Nutella crepe,
Ooh.
iced Mexican caramel latte, hot Mexican caramel latte.
Yes.
And it says, I don't think this will disappoint anyone.
I must have really liked that place.
So be looking for this book. It's not in the stores yet, but it's coming soon. As much as you travel, I can see it being done fairly quick. Okay, well, we've got some videos to show.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about Head First.
Head First is a song that I wrote with my friend Josh out in Michigan. He's a great producer, and this is my first time ever working with a producer. My friend Dave and I from H&L, we went out there and did some songs with him. And one day I took a day dedicated to my Tayler project. And he worked with me on these riffs. He did some bass lines for me. We worked on the drum parts, put the little EBO, vibration string thing in there. I'm not a guitar player, I'm a drummer. And we put it all together, and he helped me make it into this beautiful song. It's sad, it's dark. I wrote it in an Arrowhead Lake in Lakeview, in the place I grew up. Always spent a lot of time there growing up when I was a kid. I'd ride my bikes down there. Me and my friends would ride our bikes down the hill, off the dock into the water. You know, we still have, there's still bikes down there. Like some of us still have, there's probably a couple bikes underwater still today, you know, 30 years later. You know, we didn't tell our parents we were doing that. No way. You know, we start at the top of the hill and straight out. So I was sitting down there one day, I dropped my daughter off at preschool, and it was just a morning preschool, so she'd be done at noon. And I just go down there and just started writing some stuff, and then I had this poem put together, and so I took the poem with this guitar piece, and then when I was in Michigan with Josh, I was like, hey man, I have these things, how can we make this into a song? And that's what Head First came out as. And he's like, all right, I can help you with that, and does all wizardry, waves the wand, and bada bing, bada boom. And then we got Head First out of the deal.
All right. Well, let's watch that video right now. Reminds me so much of Pink Floyd. It just be still my heart. This next song, it's called Fleeting World. This will be our second song in this particular series. What can you tell me about this one?
This song, okay. This one's magical.
Caught up in the stories, and the wheels keep turning. Oh, we're passing in the shadows. Living with the echoes. Night carries the pain. I feel the falling rain. Found a friend in the lonely tree. Oh, we're passing in the shadows, searching for a place that feels right. Living with the echoes. So lift your eyes from the ground. Lovely world.
In my mind, while writing it, I kind of approached it with how I feel about, how was I feeling that day? Well, I felt like the world was just a fleeting world. It just was changing. And then also you can reflect it back to my travels with Ancient Elm, where you roll through the heart of the city, everybody's dreams fade.
And this next song we're going to take a look at is called Sea Witch. I already like the sound of it.
It's awesome. I love it too. Being a song about, a sea witch, a muse, a siren, the people, or the beautiful voice that would just take sailors down and just destroy their ships, and then they would just be gone.
Well, here we are back again. We've still got a couple songs to go through. This next one is called Act 1. What can you tell me about that?
Well, it's kind of funny because the song itself, no pun intended, but it sets the stage for Tayler. This is Act 1. This is the song. There's not a great melody, there's not a huge groove to it. It literally was me in a very dark time, in a very sad time in my life, and I just put my hands down on the keyboard and made sounds, and it turned into a melody that I thought that I just couldn't get rid of. It's something dark, sad, beautiful, all at the same time, and it's just something that you can feel some sadness within it. Even visually watching the video, you'll be able to see that there's something sad about it, but there's no words to it. It just, it really brought the life of Tayler. It's like, okay, the project is coming to life. Here's Act 1. This is where it starts. And then there was a bunch of other ones, Act 2, 3, 4 that came after it, and they were just weird, nonsense music that didn't really have much of anything, kind of cinematic in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could probably put some video games to it or like a movie or some like weird scenes, but I wouldn't say that there's anything related to like how Sea Witch or how The Fleeting World is. It doesn't really go along with that, but I did put it out there and it had to be done. So yeah, Act 1 sets the stage for Tayler. And then after that, it just snowballs into what you have today from Tayler and what's to come from Tayler.
I can't wait. Let's watch Act 1. Well, that was a great video. I really enjoyed that one. I think that's my favorite. But anyway, let's watch Celestial Woman. What do we got here?
Okay, Celestial Woman is, like I tell most people, is a very good example of what two friends together can make with music. My best friend Dave, he has been in the band since I can't remember when, like before we started touring.
Mm-hmm.
He joined as soon as the band was like getting ready to start touring and stuff. He was in it, so he's always been a pillar in that group for Ancient Elm. And during our session with Josh in Michigan, he played the bass for us on this song and then helped with the MIDI drums and production. So he really, Dave wrote so much of it with the lyrics and the guitar parts. So it really has, and then I did the vocals on this one. It just helps show people, if you want to hear what two friends doing something they love together sounds like, that's what Celestial Woman is. Unfortunately, there's no women coming from space. They're not taking us back up there with them as much as we'd love that.
Yeah.
But it's, so that's that's what it is. That is friendship. And then, when we met Josh in this situation, he kind of became a friend of ours, not kind of, but he did become a friend of ours throughout that session with him. So when people take chances with you, like I said earlier, it really helps help you grow as an artist. And that's, this Celestial Woman is an example of that.
Sure.
Of growing musicians and how you can help them move through things.
That's
So,
great.
yeah.
Well, let's watch Celestial Woman.
Celestial woman,
I want to thank you very much for coming on our show today.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed your music immensely. Where can I get your music?
Everywhere. Like when I say everywhere, I literally mean everywhere. If you stream music, if you want a record, if you wanted a T-shirt, a CD, it's all possible for you.
You bet.
Bandcamp, Elastic Stage for vinyl and CDs are there. If you want to get on the Fourth Wall, there's a link on our stuff for that for Tayler merch. If you want to be really cool and buy a shirt, got cardigans too. I don't know if you know anybody likes cardigans.
Wow.
Got cardigans up there, and those any stream platform you'll find any of my music digitally. Maroon Lagoon, you'll have Tayler, you'll have Ancient Elm. Maroon Lagoon's going to be one that you're going to catch me live most likely. You'll see me doing fill-in drummer stuff for different artists.
Now, what can we expect from Tayler in the near future?
There's a record coming out, and I'm just gonna make a special run of 20 records, probably maybe 100, I don't know. But I'm gonna do a pre-order at some point, and that way everybody can have a piece of it. And I just want to put a record out. So that was my goal this year, and I got the everything's recorded. Greg has everything mastered for me, and now it's time to get it pressed.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today, especially Tayler for sharing his time and his talents with us. If there's any of you that need to get a hold of Tayler, just put something down in the comment section, and we'll be getting back to you as soon as we can, so that you and Tayler can connect. The last thing I'm going to tell you is we do as many singer-songwriters as we can get our hands on. And so any of you out in the audience today, if you're seeing this and you know of a songwriter, you might want to make a comment, and maybe we can get you on here too. God bless each and every one of you for coming out. Be good to each other. It's the right thing to do. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Tayler, for being on our show.
Absolutely.